welcome to the DR Sports Transfer Show, where we're going to be covering the latest news, rumours and everything else from the football world. Is your club going to get an Ornstein bomb? How many here we goes are we going to hear from Fabrizio Romano this January? Make sure to stay tuned every weekday for all the latest football news here on DR Sports. Yes, everybody, welcome back to DR Sports and welcome back to your transfer news latest. Right, today we're going to be going through plenty of information, plenty of the latest transfer rumours to be hitting the Premier League and hitting Europe on Thursday, the 22nd of January. So around about just more than 1 week left in this transfer window. And there is a lot of information coming out about United, about Chelsea, about Villa, about Arsenal, about Barcelona, about Real Madrid, about Man City. So much to cover in the next 8 minutes. But let's get straight into it with some interesting news on Cole Palmer. So multiple reports in the last few days have said that Cole Palmer isn't overly happy with life in London, and the Sun have previously reported that Palmer misses, so to speak, his friends back home, misses Manchester, etc. And the Express reported yesterday, this is actually coming out recently, that Chelsea and England playmaker Cole Palmer, obviously the 23-year-old, is willing to return to Manchester this summer to join Manchester United, although the former Man City player has a contract until 2033 at Stamford Bridge. This is an interesting one because everyone knows that Cole Palmer, he's never made it a secret that he is a boyhood Manchester United fan. Like, there's the photo of him as a kid in a Manchester United shirt after he scored a hat-trick against Manchester United in 2023, I want to say, or 2024. He scored a hat-trick against Manchester United at Stamford Bridge to win the game 4-3. And he said after the game, yeah, I'm a United fan, so it was great to score a hat-trick against them. I don't know how much to believe this, personally, but it'd be remiss not to feel and think that United will be keeping half an eye on Cole Palmer because everyone knows he's a Manchester boy, Manchester United boyhood fan as well, Manchester City ex-academy graduate, and there's a lot of ex-Man City people at Man United at the moment. But the thing to keep an eye on with this may be to do with Bruno Fernandes, because according to ESPN, Manchester United are set to sit down with Bruno Fernandes and tell him they want to keep him for 1 more year and would like a decision from him if he's staying or if he's going before the World Cup starts. So Bruno Fernandes obviously decided to stay last summer at Old Trafford despite being offered a £750,000 a week salary from the Saudi Pro League clubs, from Al Hilal, and he was very close to joining, but he openly admitted afterwards it was his wife and Ruben Amorim and the club together that made him decide that the best place for him is to continue in Manchester, a settled life, his kids are at school there, etc., etc., etc. So he decided to reject it last year, but there is no guarantee he stays this year. And so what may be happening with the whole Cole Palmer thing, should it be true, or should United be as interested as you think they might be, is that United might sit down with Bruno Fernandes and go, do you want to stay? Do you want to go? See where his head's at. And if he then says, all right, I think my time's up, I'm going to leave, I'm going to go somewhere else, because he has a £56 million release clause in his contract for non-English teams. If he decides I want to go to Italy, if I want to go to Saudi, I want to go to Germany, I want to go to Spain, wants to go somewhere else, then he might go. United might try and usher him off quickly, and then the Cole Palmer interest may come into play. So that is definitely, I know I'm saying this with a smile on my face, being a United fan myself, but that is one thing to keep a big, big, big eye on, because it could be a very good Bruno to Palmer, could be a very good switch for United to make. But speaking on the topic of Chelsea, going to continue with Chelsea for a second, is according to reports from Spain, Atletico Madrid are already eyeing a move for Alejandro Garnacho this month. Just 5 months after he joined Chelsea in August for £40 million from United. According to the report, after Enzo Maresca's departure, Garnacho is reportedly moving to make... I'll start that one again. After Maresca's departure, he's reportedly looking to move to a more stable environment and is seriously considering a possible loan offer from Atletico Madrid. Diego Simeone has probably already given the thumbs up for a loan and sees Garnacho as a... Obviously, Garnacho is someone who was at Atletico Madrid before he joined Man United. That is a very important point to make. He was born in Madrid, born in Spain, Atletico Madrid from a young kid age. Everyone knows that apparently he was a Chelsea fan, which is a big reason why he pushed to move to Chelsea. But with Liam Rosinia coming in, Maresca gone, the report states that Garnacho is possibly looking for something a little more stable. And then going into Europe, about coming into the Premier League, is Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We covered yesterday that TalkSport have claimed that United were offered Ruben Loftus-Cheek by AC Milan, his current club, with him struggling to get game time at the moment. And that Ruben Loftus-Cheek himself is possibly looking for a move back to the Premier League. I don't know if that's to do with the World Cup in mind, or to do with getting more exposure, or coming back to playing in England, because obviously he is English. But according to the Telegraph, Aston Villa are looking to bolster their midfield options. We all know they just missed out on Conor Gallagher, and Boubacar Kamara has a injury that could keep him out for up to the rest of the season at the moment. And so Ruben Loftus-Cheek is now becoming a target for AC Milan. Although United's talks with AC Milan, Loftus-Cheek are just only exploratory, basically seeing what the conditions of a deal could be. Aston Villa are probably a side who will go more into this deal and may want to get it over the line, even if it's just for 6 months. Unai Emery, we know he's begging for midfield reinforcements. Unai Emery loves the midfield. They've got so many, but they've got injury. John McGinn also injured recently, so we don't know how long that's going to be out for. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Aston Villa, it's a deal that could make sense. They're also looking to bring Tammy Abraham back as well. Obviously, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Tammy Abraham, both ex-Cobham graduates from Chelsea. Obviously, have then moved on both to Italy and could both be coming back. So that is definitely a deal to keep an eye on. And then meanwhile, Aston Villa are also required about Fenerbahce striker Youssef En-Nesyri, who obviously has been with Morocco at AFCON, in the past 24 hours. And the 28-year-old Moroccan forward will decide his future soon, with Napoli and Juventus also interested, according to Fabrizio Romano. So again, something to really keep an eye on. So Villa, they want attacking options as well. Daniel Marlon has gone to Roma. They're trying to get Tammy Abraham, as I said, but the main issue with the Tammy Abraham move is he's on loan at Besiktas, and Roma do not have a recall option. So they don't have a recall option to be able to recall him and then sell him to Aston Villa or put him on loan to Aston Villa. And also as well, Besiktas' loan move with Tammy Abraham has a conditional obligation to buy based on if they hit a certain place in the league or if plays a certain number of games, they've agreed to sign him permanently. So that is a bit of a legal nightmare for Aston Villa, and they may have to fork out a fair amount of money to get Abraham back. So they could be looking at En-Nesyri as an easier option to sign in the summer because there's less red tape around it. And then moving back to North London, we've got Tottenham. So Tottenham, we know are in trouble, right? Thomas Frank, we reported here earlier on this week, wants a left-sided forward. Obviously, Kulusevski still isn't back from injury. He's a fantastic right winger. James Maddison also not back from injury. He's a good creator, and we know James Maddison on his day is great, but we don't know how he's going to be after yet another long-term injury. And according to the Daily Mail, Tottenham are considering a £25 million move for 24-year-old Crescencio, sorry if I butchered that name, Somerville from West Ham. Somerville has plenty of Premier League experience. So he came up with Leeds and was all right with Leeds, moved to West Ham. He's had, obviously, everyone at West Ham is having a so-and-so season, to say the least. Obviously, they're fighting relegation. They're, I think, 7 points adrift at the moment of in the relegation zone. So losing Somerville could be a big blow for West Ham, but also £25 million could be too much to turn down. And Somerville may say, I want to go to Tottenham. Obviously, he stays in London. Tottenham are playing in the Champions League, at least for now. And they look like they'll remain in the Champions League for the time being, at least until the early rounds of the knockout stages. Obviously, that means Somerville, if he signs for Spurs, will stay in the Premier League, won't be relegated this season if he joins in January. So do keep an eye on that one. But also another one to keep an eye on regarding Tottenham in the summer is Van de Ven. Because we covered Van de Ven and his links to Liverpool recently, but they were from Team Talk, who, as a source, you may want to ask to see secondary confirmation. But now the Daily Mail have jumped on this as well, and they are also saying that Liverpool are interested in Tottenham Netherlands centre-back Mickey van der Ven, who is yet to sign a new contract at Spurs. Liverpool need centre-backs. They've missed out on Mark Gay. They need potentially 2 or 3 new centre-backs. Obviously, Konate, he's still not signed a new deal. He's a free agent in the summer. So if he was to go, Liverpool are left with Leone, who's still recovering from an ACL injury and won't be available until next season, Van Dijk, and then Joe Gomez as their only centre-back option. So Liverpool will probably need to sign, if Konate doesn't agree a new deal, 2 or maybe 3 new centre-backs. And Van der Ven could be one of them. He's great at centre-back. I personally think Van der Ven's fantastic when he's fit. And he can also play at left-back. There's been a lot of noise about Andy Robertson possibly leaving, obviously because he's getting on, and Kirkez is ideally the first-choice left-back, and he had a great game against Marseille. But in the Premier League, and especially his link-up with Gakpo, has been tenuous, to say the least, at Liverpool. So Van der Ven is someone who can play both at left-back and at centre-back, could be a fantastic option for Liverpool, and definitely one to keep an eye on, because apparently he wants to move. There were rumours and reports saying, obviously, he came out and he publicly apologised after breaking Alexander Isak's leg when Spurs played Liverpool earlier on this season. So do keep an eye on this one. I do think it is one that will pop up more and more as the rest of the season progresses and heading into the summer transfer window. But and then heading over to Spain, Real Madrid are according to AS, so Spanish source, Real Madrid are reportedly considering a move for Ruben Neves, a 28-year-old who is open to a move away from Al Hilal, although Manchester United also eyeing the former Wolves captain. Obviously, Ruben Neves has been in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal for the last few seasons, but he's got plenty of Premier League experience. He showed himself to be a brilliant player, and also he's a starter for Portugal still, even though he's in the Saudi Pro League. He's 28 years old. He's in his prime. He may have not had as much physical exertion in the Saudi League compared to what you would have at the Premier League. So he could be very, very, very much in his prime as a midfielder. And Real Madrid reportedly looking for him because they want new midfielders. Manchester United desperate need of new midfielders either now or in the summer, with Ruben Neves being routinely linked to the club. It's just another one to keep an eye on, isn't it? Because Ruben Neves as well, he will want to be possibly moving back to Europe, because European football it's the peak of club football, isn't it? It's the Premier League or Real Madrid or Barcelona, etc. And if you're being linked with these clubs, and you'll probably want to move away, but an issue will be wages, won't it? Because he's on a big, big, big contract in Saudi Arabia. So he will have to forego some wages to make the move back to Europe. But I can't see Neves not ending up somewhere in Europe. If he wants to come back, clubs will be clamoring over themselves to get him. Portugal international, former Wolves captain, Premier League experience. It's a fantastic deal for anyone who gets him. Reportedly, around about 20 million could be enough. 15 to 20 million pounds could be enough, which is, I think, a fantastic, fantastic deal. And finally, sticking in Spain, heading over to Barcelona, is Barcelona want to sign Manchester City captain Bernardo Silva, 31-year-old, as a free agent in the summer when his contract expires at the end of this season. That's according to Nacional in Spanish. Sorry if I butchered that as well. But so Spanish reports as well, Bernardo Silva to Man City. So from Man City to Barcelona. Obviously, Barcelona did a similar move for Ilkay Gundogan a few seasons ago, didn't they? But he then ended up going back to Man City when Pep Guardiola wanted experience. He wanted someone like a leader back in his dressing room. Then Gundogan then left Man City in the summer. But Bernardo Silva's contract seems to be up at the end of the season. It doesn't seem like there's too much in the way, if there's not too much significant noise around a new deal. Looks like he'll be leaving. Man City have been signing so many new players in the last 12 months. Last January, in the summer, this January, they've signed 12 or 13 players, basically a whole half of a squad. So it does look like Man City are really looking to get a new era of players in. There's also plenty of noise around Pep Guardiola and his future. His contract's up next summer, but there's no guarantee that he's staying beyond this summer. Obviously, amid Man City's poor results, who knows? He may not even last a season, although somehow I doubt that. But apart from that, that has been all the transfer news that's been coming out in the last 24 hours, summarised for you here on DR Sports. My name is Dylan. Let me know what you think about the Cole Palmer, about Bernardo Silva, about Aston Villa's transfer moves. Should Bruno Fernandes stay? Should he leave? Let me know in the comments, and I will see you guys soon. Cheers.